Recording.
Okay, welcome to Aging Backwards with Cherie and Beverly. We are here to discuss a new topic each week with you. I'm Cherie, a culinary nutrition expert and educator. My business is Cherie Lynn Inc., and the program that I run is the Exhaustion Fix. It's a step-by-step method to empower exhausted, busy people who suffer from ongoing cravings and stress and just want to lose weight. And this is my friend Beverly.
Hi, Cherie. Great intro. Let's see if I could at least come close to yours. Hi, everyone. I'm Beverly with Beverly Hills Health and Wellness Coaching. I work with coaching people in the area of health and wellness. My focus has been helping clients lose weight. Up to 50 pounds is where we are currently in the course of 1 year. So I work with a variety of different programs with my clients. I have individual, group, also online programs where you can go self-paced. My platforms where you can reach me is beverlyhillscoaching.com. I also have a private Facebook group, and I would love to have you check me out. And my tagline is Step into Dazzling Health.
I love that. I love that. And I love your heel. I just love
I actually started to bring a pair of heels, but I thought, well, let's stay on course because I'll get carried away with a pair of heels and start talking. But anyway, I digress. Go ahead, Cherie.
Well, someday I want to see some of those heels.
Oh, honey, be careful what you ask for. It's Beverly Hills for a reason.
Yeah. So anyway, Beverly and I are here today to talk about intermittent fasting this week. So like I said, every week we will have a different topic that we are going to express upon. So this week we decided intermittent fasting was the topic. So I'm going to share my screen real quick here.
Yeah, the reason why we came up with intermittent fasting is that we both are passionate about this subject. Cherie shared with me a while ago this presentation that she did for her, you presented to a group?
It was a public school district with their professional development. Mm-hmm. So I had a full house, both hours. It was 2 sessions, an hour each, and I had about 30 to 35, so about 70 people. And it was awesome. Really good. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
When you shared that with me, I was like, oh my God, Cherie, I have been researching intermittent fasting for years, and I promise you, there is such an impact when you incorporate this into your lifestyle. And this is part of the reason why people that I've worked with have saw such substantial weight loss. And it's different for everybody. So your presentation is awesome. And I'm glad we're taking the time today to at least cover a couple of primary understanding about the subject of intermittent fasting.
Yeah, I think it works really well with people too, because most of the people that took the attended the presentation, if they took it and went and implemented it into their lifestyle, mm-hmm. and with just a couple of tweaks even on what they were eating, the majority of them lost at least 10 pounds right off the bat.
It's very effective. Very effective.
So this is my intermittent fasting 101. It's a beginner's guide. And Beverly and I have to start with our disclaimer though. This information is for educational and informational purpose only and solely as a self-help tool for your own use. We are not providing medical, psychological, or nutritional therapy advice. You should not use this information to diagnose or treat any health problems or illnesses without consulting your own medical practitioner. Always seek the advice of your own medical practitioner and or mental health provider about your specific health situation. It's really important.
Right. Check with the doctor.
No, we specialize in nutrition, but we are not physicians. Correct. Now, the other thing that I wanted to let you know, though, is the intermittent fasting is great for type 2 diabetics. Mm-hmm. Who produce too much insulin.
Right.
This is not, capital letters, NOT, not for type 1 diabetics
Yeah,
that don't have enough insulin.
correct.
Okay. And please do not do intermittent fasting if you are pregnant or nursing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we do not want you to be depleted of any nutrients.
Nutrients, correct.
That way.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So now people do intermittent fasting for a lot of various reasons, and they do it for spiritual reasons. They do it for health reasons. Whoops, I did an 11 instead of a 10.
When Plato shows up, he's got something to share.
Yeah, right. So even back to the days of Plato and Hippocrates and
yeah.
yep.
And currently right now, I think we're going through Ramadan as we're doing this particular presentation. That's a big part of, you know, that culture. So
Big time.
it's global.
Mm-hmm. It is global. And I guess the main thing that I want to express is that it is safe.
Mm-hmm.
It is safe. It's not starvation. We'll talk about eating windows in a little bit here coming up, but it is a safe practice that goes all the way back to many cultures around the world.
Hundreds of years. So it's not some new fad way of losing weight. This is something that has been utilized globally in various cultures. And today we're just revisiting how impactful this can be in the days and times where we're finding people with so many major health problems.
Right, right. So it's basically, fasting is the controlled voluntary abstinence of food. So you're in control of what you're doing.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So
it's not stifling, like you can't do this or you can't do that when it comes to the food that you're eating. Like working with a coach, you can kind of structure a program that works best for your specific goals. But overall, it's not about stifling your food. It's how you're having these meals.
right. Okay. So intermittent fasting, I'm just going to stop share it for a second here. Intermittent fasting, or you'll see it come up as IF.
IF. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, what's if? It's IF.
Yeah.
Okay. It's an eating pattern that cycles between periods of fasting and eating. So the one thing to remember though, that is does not tell you what foods to eat.
Correct. Correct.
So it is not a diet. Okay.
Right.
Now, the other thing to remember too is our bodies are designed to fast. They are designed to store food in times of availability and release food in times of scarcity. Now, one thing that you can do with intermittent fasting is there are windows. Eating windows is what it's called. And I'll pull that up here for you quick. Here is an example of some eating windows that are common amongst people. There's the 12 hours, the 16, and the 18. Okay. So if you did a 12-hour eating window, you would be fasting for 12 hours.
Yeah, because you're looking at a 24-hour period. So within that 24 hours, you have one half of the day is your fasting window and one half of the day is your eating window. So that's how you get the 12-12.
Yep. So if you were going to fast for 16 hours, you have an 8-hour eating window. Yeah. And a lot of people comment, this is one thing that I do, and I didn't tell you that, Beverly, is I like to go from 11 to 7.
Okay.
My boyfriend, Mark, likes to eat late. So if I can hold off until 11 o'clock in the morning, and then I go the afternoon, and maybe we eat at 6, 7.
You eat your dinner together.
Yeah. Yeah. We've been doing more of that. So, and then if there's an 18-hour fast, which is a 6-hour eating window, that's even a little bit harder for some people, especially starting out. You want to start maybe.
Yeah, that's probably a more advanced place once you've been fasting for a while that you can shoot for. I think me and you kind of talked a little bit about fasting windows, but we really didn't share specifically how we each utilize fasting.
What do you like the best, Beverly?
Yeah, for me personally, I've been doing this for so long, so I'm not in any of these categories. I'm OMAD.
What
So,
what is
we don't have OMAD on the chart. We don't want to throw people overwhelming tasks, but OMAD is OMAD, which stands for 1 meal a day. One meal a day. 1 meal a day. And it sounds really crazy. It's not something that I do 7 days a week, but I try to practice it several days a week. It depends on what my schedule is, what I have going on, and I also intuitively eat. I listen to my body. So 1 meal a day for me would be like, my spouse loves to cook. I mean, absolutely is a chef in the kitchen. And he will put together these meals, and I will sit and look at all of this food, and I try a little bit of this, a little of that, and I eat that. I'm done. I know tomorrow is OMAD. I know I'm not eating anymore until that same time the next day, because I've fueled myself where I'm very satiated. I need that window of time to have my food to thoroughly digest and not pack more food on. And that window for me is something like 20 hours of fasting.
Okay.
For me. And what that does is, like, it allows your body to start a healing process. All of the food that you're eating is constantly being worked through the digestive system, which is like 26 feet long. So that takes a while to get all of the nutrients pulled out, go into nourishing your body. So why do I need to pack more food in? And that's what's worked for me. And it's taken me a long time, many years, to get to that place. I'm not depleted of nutrients. I'm not starving. I'm not faint. I'm functioning at a high level. I'm not thinking about food all the time. So this is what works for me. So I want people to understand, like, you have to come about this approach with what's best for you. Working in tandem with a health and wellness coach will help you structure how to get the results you're looking for. Initially, my fasting was something that I was bought into the circle of coming up in religion. Like, our congregation did periodic fasts for certain times. So I've been fasting since like childhood for certain reasons that we needed to come together as a body. So this is not a foreign concept. So for me to be at the OMAD, no problem for me. And I can even go, and this is like kind of off topic, but just to let you know, you can do days of fasting. You can do water fasting. There's like so many aspects of fasting when you figure out like what your end goal is. So with that, I'm going to pass it off to you, Cherie, and we can go farther.
Yeah, and you can do, the 24-hour fast a couple times a week. Some people take it further than that. I'm not sure the benefits of taking it for days on end. I don't know if that gets them anymore. I do know that people I've talked to talk about the mental clarity.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
It's huge.
They just think that they think clearer, and they just like how it makes them feel.
Mm-hmm.
I know it helps with weight loss. It lowers cholesterol. It lowers your insulin.
Your insulin goes down.
Yep. And that's where now one thing that you have to understand is either you're fat burning or fat storing.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
And you can't be doing both at the same time.
Yeah,
so when you're eating and you're increasing your insulin, you're going to be storing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So by fasting and reducing your insulin, you can go into those fat reserves.
Yeah, that's where the weight loss happens. That's the magic.
That's where the weight loss happens.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, type 2 diabetes, this is good for you.
Yes.
Start out small. Mm-hmm. And of course, we are not prescribing anything.
Correct.
Heard our medical disclaimer. We're just telling you what our clients and friends that have done our programs have been able
The
to
results that they've been able to get
benefit from.
utilizing that. Correct.
Exactly.
Right.
Some people even have better sleep. They're able to sleep at night. Sometimes when you get up in the middle of the night, it's because your hormones are imbalanced.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
So overall, you start feeling better.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and you start looking better in your clothes too.
they start feeling better. Yes.
Yes, absolutely.
Let's see. Do you do the 24-hour fasting, Beverly?
I do. Like I said, I intuitively eat. I also do things according to season. So spring, winter, summer, fall, I'm trying to do an extended fast or a detox is what I refer to it at that point, because I'm going longer periods. I'm trying to get my body to totally lose a lot of the toxins. Some of the foods that you eat, especially if you're eating packaged foods, has all kind of preservatives. You know, even if you're eating certain meats and stuff, they're injected with hormones. So quarterly, I like to do an extended fast to just purge as much as I can out of my system and then introduce foods back in slowly. So that's one of those health benefits for me that has been so impactful. And I never feel as though I'm starving. This interesting thing about extended fasting, once you go beyond that 24-hour window, the feeling of hunger leaves. Like if you're in the religious, especially like if you're like following the teachings of Jesus, it talked about he went away and fasted for 40 days. Like you think, how can a person fast for 40 days? Because there's a window that happens where you're just not hungry. Your body stops like growling. You don't feel that anxiousness, but you need to stay hydrated though.
Right. And those cravings do go away. And one thing you need to understand is, are they hunger or are they cravings? And sometimes you can just go and drink a large glass of water and wait 15 minutes and see, was it a craving or was it, are you truthfully hungry? And with all of the marketing today too, everything is, oh, you need all these snacks all day long. It's no, you don't.
No.
And the nice thing about intermittent fasting is that it's simple.
Yes.
You don't have to cook.
Yes.
You don't have to go grocery shopping.
Right.
You're stuck in your house. You're safer at home and you're out of food. Guess what? Intermittent fast. Take a different mindset on it.
Exactly. That's part of it. It is definitely a mindset situation. And you're also looking at a lifestyle shift, because we've been marketed to by media, by corporate companies. Their objective is to fulfill their bottom line, and that's profit.
Money.
And I'm not saying that it's not good to support, the economy, but you have to think about your health. Make choices that are going to serve your health, and just cutting out all of the excess eating, especially snacking with things out of packages. Like that is one of the first things I would ask you to do when you're thinking about intermittent fasting, is just try to stop the snacking.
And if you're staying within those eating windows, that is one thing that it helps with, is the nighttime snacking. So if your last meal is dinner, you can go brush your teeth, go for a walk, do things that are not going to let you go grab a snack right before you go to bed. If you really need to, have maybe a handful of almonds.
Nuts, yeah, that's my go-to.
Yeah. So the other thing about intermittent fasting is that it doesn't cost you extra money. It's flexible. You have freedom because it's not a diet.
Right. Yeah.
It's not a diet. And you brought up a good point, Beverly, is because one of the gals at the presentation said, well, what if I mess up? What if I do something wrong one day? Well, you just start over the next day. There is no right or wrong. And
Right.
that's where people think
Right.
that food is, oh, I was bad. You're not bad. You're human,
Right.
you
Right.
know? And the other thing too, with being at home for all of this, people are boredom eating.
Oh yeah, that's definitely
And
happening.
if you don't have those packages in the house, like Beverly's talking about,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe have some little snack boxes. I think they call them Beano boxes or whatever. They're like little boxes with compartments, and you just put in some nuts, some fruits,
Oh, gotcha. Gotcha. Okay.
like
I follow.
some meat, some
Yeah.
good things. And
Easily grab and it's ready to go.
exactly. And you can use Ziploc bags, you
Mm-hmm.
can use whatever. And that way the kids too can just run and grab what they want. They
Mm-hmm.
don't have to keep,
Mm-hmm.
hey, make me
Yeah.
something,
Yeah.
you know? Um, just the other thing too with intermittent fasting is it tells you when to eat. It doesn't tell you what to eat,
Mm-hmm.
but you're going to see better results if you eat real food.
Mm-hmm. Oh, definitely. Definitely something that's not packaged. Well, my thing was like nothing with a bar, what is it, bar scan or scan bar on it? Like,
Yeah. The barcode.
oh, there you go.
Yeah. Now, and the other thing too is you're during your eating window, eat real food, but you don't have to limit really what you're eating. If you're eating 2000 calories a day, eat 2000 calories a day. But
Mm-hmm.
the thing is that I always mention is if I have a 6 to 8 hour eating window, I cannot eat as much in that window as I can in 12 hours.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I automatically lower how much I'm eating,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm not hungry
Right.
after.
Right. Right.
So it all falls into place, and you start eating, good vegetables with
Mm-hmm.
fiber
Yeah.
and fruits and the good stuff. There's the fiber that's going to keep you full
Satiate
and
you. It'll
satiate.
satiate you. Yeah.
Yes,
Right.
it's such a
Because think about it, you're fueling your body with the nutrients it needs to sustain itself. You're not giving
Mhm.
it um, food that's devoid of substance. Like when
Right.
you eat something that's been processed or the whole goodness of the foods have
Hmm.
been stripped of their value, then
Right.
that makes you
Right.
hungry. You know,
Right.
you'll eat something and a couple of hours later you're like ravaging for something. Whereas if you ate, fiber-filled food, vegetables, a nice type of meat, good quality meat, when you
Hmm.
eat that, your body's breaking that down and fueling itself.
Right.
So
Right.
you won't be hungry. You won't be hungry.
Right. And right now with spring, I don't know what you have available there, Beverly. I'm in Wisconsin. And Beverly, where are you?
I'm in the DC metro area.
Okay, so I cleaned out my dad's garden area where the asparagus is supposed to be popping through any day now. And we had some rain. So I'm really looking forward to steaming some asparagus.
Wow, love
So
asparagus.
yeah, but if you eat that real food, your hormones aren't going to be imbalanced. You're gonna balance them.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna be
Balance
able
them
to
out.
sleep through the night. You're not going to be waking
Correct.
up. You're not going to be having cravings. So if you
Right.
just think about it in that way,
Mm-hmm.
it all goes full circle.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
So
Correct. Absolutely. I totally concur with you. And I'm so excited. Like when we're doing this particular intermittent fasting presentation, it is spring for us. And I'm looking forward to being out and working in the garden. I have always had access to fresh fruits and vegetables. That's a love from a very young age. And to me, there's nothing that tastes as good as some vegetables from your own garden. Um, Sometimes you're not able to get those things from your garden all year long, and there may be like co-ops or something that you can get something because they have facilities where they can grow things all year long. But if you, for example, have a tomato that's right out of your garden versus a tomato that's been manufactured quickly and you pick it up in the grocery store, the color looks different. The taste is like totally different. If you
mhm,
have a fresh tomato grown from your garden, the smell is so deep, so rich. The taste is just so like intense. Whereas if I have a tomato that I've usually had to pick up from the grocery store, it almost seems bland. It's like there's no flavor in it. And that's my experience, because I have regular access to fruits and vegetables that we have. And when the seasons change, a lot of it, we freeze it so we can have it later. And it's still great. It's still great. And I'm not saying that that's bad to have fruits and vegetables out of the store. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying if you have a choice, the taste is substantially different when you're growing your own in your garden, because you're using soil that's much more rich and has more beneficial components to making the food better. Whereas some of these other places, they're harvesting things so fast, and the soil is not being turned over, it's depleted of nutrients, so that transfers into the food. So there's a difference.
Well, they pick things early and then they try to ripen it as it's coming. So if you get it from the farmer's market, or, they're picking it when it's ripe. And Beverly, did I tell you that I signed up for a farm share?
No, so good for you.
Yeah, I bought the biggest share that they had. So I'm going to have fruits and veggies coming out of my ears. But
you should be able to take some of that and put it up right now, where we're going through this global health crisis. You can always have something to pull back from out of your freezer if you're not able to utilize it all in its freshest state.
Well, we usually have a larger garden, but Dad's 83 now, so he still wants zucchini and yellow squash and some tomatoes. We're going to keep it simple.
Yeah.
But yet get the peppers and eggplant and everything else from the farmer's market.
Okay. Yeah.
So you
got both ends covered.
I think so. We got all things covered. So
awesome.
One other thing about the intermittent fasting is what breaks your fast. Now, one thing that breaks your fast, of course, is eating. As soon as you eat, you have broken your fast.
Correct.
But one thing that you can do, and I do this almost every day, is I have my coffee. I put collagen in my coffee. I put coconut oil in my coffee. MCT oil.
Yeah.
However you want to do it. Like my daughter has her bottle of MCT oil. I use a scoop of coconut oil. That is called a supercharged coffee.
Yeah, they refer to it as like a bulletproof.
Yeah, I like bulletproof too. Okay, so if you keep the calories down around 50 and below, somewhere around there, you're not going to break your fast. Plus, you're adding fat to the coffee.
Yeah.
So you're not adding carbs. You're not adding sugar. So you're not going to break your fast that way. So it's okay to have your coffee. Because I know one of the gals is like, how much coffee can I have? You know what? Have your coffee. You're taking everything else and pushing it out. We're living here. This is a lifestyle.
Right. You're not trying to deprive yourself. It's a process to get to longer fasting windows. But if you start, like Cherie was saying, with bulletproof coffee, you'll find you're not going to be hungry for many hours. That is so satiating first thing in the morning.
That fat keeps you full. Now, bone broth is different because bone broth has more calories in it. So, don't make that mistake. We won't call it a mistake. It'll just be, you won't get as good of results if you stick to just the coffee. So, let's see. I'm just looking over my notes, Bev. I think we have
covered a lot. This is a lot to take in.
Two things. I just thought of two things.
Okay.
Diet soda. This was a big one.
Diet soda.
Now, I'm going to read this from my notes so I get it right, okay?
Okay.
A lot of people think that diet soda is okay because it has no calories in it. But actually, the artificial sweetener in the diet soda has an insulin effect, which makes you hungry, which also spikes your insulin.
Mhm.
So there's so many times when you see people with a diet soda and a candy bar. There's a reason for that. So don't get stuck in that,
No,
okay?
no,
And
that does not work.
the other thing that I know that you wanted to touch on, Bev, was menopause.
Okay.
Did you want to? I don't want to put you on
Yeah,
the
because
spot.
that's the area that I exclusively focus is women who are going through the peri or in the menopause, postmenopausal stages, and this is where our body is shifting because our hormones have changed. So personally, without getting too much information, I've been active, I eat right, but I was finding that this weight was just starting to show up. And I mean, even today, I have to be cognizant of it. I mean, little choices that I make, I'll see things to change on the scale, and then I'll know what, oh, this is my intermittent fasting day or my omit day. You know, I know how to stretch it out. But the main thing that I find during this stage is like insulin is a big issue for us. And at some point, we'll do a show or a presentation exclusively on that. But we have to get that insulin hormone back in check. If you're eating, insulin is going up. It's just every time you eat, insulin goes up. There's no way to lose weight if your insulin is way up here. It's just not going to happen. Like Cherie said from the beginning, you know, it's fat burning or you got the sugar. Which one is it? I mean, the sugar burning, or you like going in the opposite direction. So in order to get that sugar burned, you have to get the insulin down. So for me, once I understood that and start eating for that, then I noticed the weight changing. It's huge. It's a game changer for women in this stage. So it's a lot of information to cover on this subject. Is very complex. I follow a couple of doctors in this area who've done, like, medical doctors and also holistic health practitioners, scientists, PhD doctors who've done a lot of studies, and there's information out there that you have to be mindful of. You just can't continue to use the entire medical community the way it was prescribed like 20, 30, 40 years ago. There's so much that's changed and we're aware of today, and this can be most impactful for women in this stage. I've gone through this without taking bioidentical hormones, all of these other prescriptions. I am just not a proponent of doing things that I can do the most healthy, holistic way possible. And food is your medicine through this process. So with that being said, I will stop because I will be on a tangent here for another 30 minutes, but it is profound.
Yeah. And I agree with Beverly. Food is your medicine.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, our next week's topic is going to be gut health. So stay tuned for next week. And you can find me, Cherie Lynn, at Cherie Lynn Inc., both on Instagram, my business, Facebook business page, and my Facebook group. And Beverly, where can they find you?
Yeah, I am Beverly Hills Health and Wellness Coaching. It is heels like the shoes. I have a Instagram page, the same. I have Facebook. I also have a private group. And, you know, you're welcome to go on my website. I offer consultations for free. Just put your information in there. My calendar pops up, and I'm happy to work with you if your goal is health and wellness and getting to a place where you're taking care of the weight during this stage. So I look forward to connecting with you. And if there's anything you have questions about, feel free to reach out. Cherie, thank you so much for this. This has been awesome. It's so much fun hanging out with you. It's just like I'm having a conversation with my girlfriend. She's amazing.
The one thing that you have to realize about Beverly and I, we've never met in real person, but we have this virtual space that is just awesome.
Yes.
It's fun to have a friend from DC. So
Awesome.
again, if you have any questions, just message us.
Yeah.
Email, direct message, private message, it doesn't matter. If you want to have a topic that you want us to cover on a weekly basis, or if something comes up or you have a question about the intermittent fasting, just get a hold of one of us.
Yeah. Happy to help.
If I don't know the answer, Beverly does.
And if I don't know the answer, I have a circle of people that we can actually reach out to. There's a tribe of us. I love that this has become something that it's not difficult to find answers to. There's so many people who have spent so much time doing research. And my thing is I live in this space. Every day I'm researching something on this topic every day.
Love it. Love it. All right. Well, until next week. This is Eating Backwards with Cherie and Beverly.
Awesome. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.